air conditioning back on this 1988 Benz 300 CE. So I'm going through the vacuum process right now, and I just injected UV dye. UV dye is not to look for leaks right now. Very rarely, especially when you have slow leaks. This will never show up a little over the time leak, or a leak that only happens under vibration, a certain pressure or temperature, that doesn't happen while your vehicle is idle sitting in your stall. This is great for down the road to help you look for leaks later on, unless it's a really big leak that comes out obvious. That's all I have to say this. And this is, unfortunately, I'm having a very hard time getting UV tracer dye from Traceline products. None of my suppliers want to carry Traceline products anymore, and their suppliers who supply warehouses for parts apparently, or I guess boycotting, because either the price is too high, or they can't get their margin, or they can't get their product. I don't know what's happening. Maybe another company bought them and is starting to phase out Traceline products, are disappearing. But my place, just all three of their major suppliers, and these are national chain suppliers who supply houses, all refuse to carry Traceline products. And so my source that I've been using for nearly 30 years has stopped carrying it, and they won't even try to order it anymore. So now I'm only left with this, and I was thinking of going online and looking up and seeing where I could get some, because of course I could get it cheaper elsewhere online, but my supplier, even though they charge me a little more than this product, they've been a good supplier to me. When I go there, they always have what I want. I don't walk away empty-handed, unlike a lot of other supply warehouses I could mention who waste your time by coming down there and not having stuff on the shelf. Or you call them up and they didn't do a physical tech, and you check and you go down there to pick up the product and it's not on the shelf, or only half of what you wanted. We won't get into supply house issues. That's a personal problem of the direct owner. Okay, so getting into Traceline has been injected. It's under a vacuum. What I was very surprised to find out, that it can easily pull well under 1,000 micron vacuum within 5 minutes on a system that has been retrofitted before. If you've seen my many videos on this topic about cars I come across that have been retrofitted, and they usually use that shit ester oil universal crap you get off an auto parts store. System's been open, contaminated machines, and the system is so moisture contaminated I can't draw a good vacuum. You can't see because my field piece recently suffered a injury of moisture, as you can see from the little bit of residue of condensation on the inside of the glass. I can barely make out the numbers that it's 630 or 627, 624, 25, 23. It's going down. That the micron level right here that you can barely see. I don't know if the camera can see it, but my eyes can see it there. Yeah, I'm going to take one of these apart, and I'm going to get some circuit board sealer for marine application. I'm going to see if I could spray everything under here and protect it from moisture application. They really got to work on like an IP68 or whatever it's called, moisture resistance of these field piece gauges. That's the next step they have to go to, something that's a little bit more robust. HVAC technicians, hey, we work out in the rain. We work out in, if you're an automotive guy, it might start raining and you just stay out there working. My gauge stays like this with no protection and water goes all over it. I'm not going to treat my gauges like some little snowflake wussy office manager or something like that. They get used, they get abused, and we're in the real world. We work outside. We're on a rooftop. You're on a 20-ton unit and it starts raining. You don't just pack it up and go in and say, oh, Mr. Boss, I can't work. I'm getting water on me and I'm going to melt. No, you need to be able to tool that can stand up to a little moisture, a lot of moisture, literally straight on rain. Other than the touch pads, I won't be able to spray conformal coating under the little touch pads that are on the surface of the circuit board. So I'll have to tape them off. And let's see if I could get my new gauge, take it apart, and I can make it nearly, pretty waterproof. A little more, but these are a great gauge. Anyone in automotive, the field piece, highly recommend. Back to leak testing. Okay, so in the other few videos, you see what I'm doing. I already did my rough-in vacuum with my one pump, that when I suspect there's a lot of moisture contamination, I use what I call my disposable vacuum pump, which is a very good vacuum pump, the field piece right there. And then when I really want to draw down, I use my big Navac vacuum pump after I'm pretty sure there's a really no problem with moisture. Which, this is the Navac, this is the 12 CFM, this is the NRD 16T, and it's rated down to 3 microns. I'm using the silicone hoses for a deeper, larger vacuum, but my choke off point is I'm using regular refrigerant gauges. And regular refrigerant gauges and regular refrigerant hoses are not good and rated for really deep vacuum. That is the weak link in the chain. So now I'm getting ready to fill this up. I'm down to 582 microns. That's with the pump running. When I turn it off, it'll raise. Let's do that right now just to see where it goes. So we just jumped up to 730, 729. So the vacuum is stabilizing throughout the system. I don't know if you can see it on the thing, but I'm down to 719. So it's in the 700 range that it's stabling out at. So that's good enough for a 1988 vehicle that has been retrofitted. I'm going to charge it now. And we'll come back to the next video and see what the results. We'll see if electrically the whole system works. We'll see about this fan, see if the fan works, if I could get it to kick under high pressure, and we'll see how everything goes.